Reverend Dr. William L. Johnson III, glad to share these messages of inspiration and encouragement. We're here for our morning meditation, and yes, we are beginning a new year in 2023. We are thankful for all that we were able to do and all the things that we were able to experience in 2022. But we're also very glad about the prospect of all that we will be and all that we will see in 2023. Hey, that rhymed. I ought to try that. That sounds great. Anyway, just the same, we are glad to be able to share with you for another year with these messages of inspiration and encouragement. We are so grateful for the privilege of doing so because we are aware that all of us somewhere along the way are in need of an encouraging word or some level of inspiration as we're going through the challenges that we face in life. And there's nothing better than to find ourselves in a community of people who are trying to move to do the right things, to do it the right way, with the help of God guiding us along the way. And today is another one of those moments as we share these messages. Today, I'm going to try to record a series of messages so that you may see me in the same attire as we try to move through the year and to share these messages that will be in alignment. Hopefully, you'll be able to pick up the theme. Today, I would like to talk to you for a few moments for our morning meditation on what we've entitled, When You Are Needed. When You Are Needed. I thought about this message, and I also begin it with the time noticing and recognizing we're in a time of reflection, and really many people are looking back over the past year or over the things that they have tried to accomplish, did accomplish, and some things they didn't quite get done in the past year. But that's okay. None of us actually do the things that we set out to do just the way we planned it. Life doesn't work that way. It really doesn't. Often we find ourselves going in one direction, thinking one thing, and adjusting and adapting to the circumstances that many of them are out of our control, and we find ourselves surviving and to make it through. So first of all, I want you to give yourself a congratulatory pat on the back or a hand, because it's important to know that you're here. As I shared about a year ago, there's this wonderful story about a Nigerian, or I won't say Nigerian, but an African village that finds itself having a certain practice. And every year, the young people would be sent out into the wilderness to navigate living in the wilderness for a few days. And while they were there, it's a dangerous place. It's very difficult. And so that when it's time for them to come out of the wilderness, the entirety of the village would stand on the outskirts of the wilderness, the wild place where they were, looking for them as they would come. And as they would make their way out, they would discover that they were cheered along the way as their loved ones were looking for them to come out. And when they did, someone would say, I see you. And it was important to know that they were seen. And not just seen because they were able to see them with their eyes, but they've seen their experience. They've seen the challenges they face. They've seen the difficulties they're enduring. And someone is there needed to recognize that that's who they are, that I see you. I see what you've been through in 2022. I've seen you navigate the loss of a loved one. I've seen you try to take care of your family. I've seen you fight through depression or sadness. I've seen you navigate through your sickness and illness, and I've seen you still coming through, and I still see you. I see you now coming through the wilderness of your life. And when you say that to another person, in that story of the village, those who were coming out of the wilderness would simply say, I am here. I'm glad that you see me. And because you see me, it reminds me that what I've been through did not take me out, that I am here. And I've survived whatever it is I've experienced, the sickness, the divorce, the sadness, the loss, the struggle, upward climb, the achievements trying to get through school, the writing of the dissertation, all those things that we've had to go through during the course of the year that sometimes were more difficult than we imagined that they would be. But when someone says, I see you, then you know that you have arrived, that you didn't die in a mirage, that it was not something that was a part of your imagination, but you did survive, and someone is there to bear witness of it. That is what I want to share with you. It is important that when you're needed to be able to see people through, to give them words of encouragement, to say, I see you. I see where you've been. I see what you've experienced. I see how you fought through it. I see how you get up every day. And even though you don't get a lot of pay, or you don't get a lot of thanks, or you don't get a lot of pats on the back, you still keep doing what it is that's important. When I was younger, I say younger, when I first started teaching school, and we had a wonderful principal who had an efficacy moment in which he specifically wanted the teachers and the entire community to be able to say to each other that I see you. In other words, get caught doing right is what he called it. Get caught doing right, not doing wrong, but doing right. And whenever you see someone doing the best that they can, and whenever you see someone doing the right thing, and whenever you see someone holding it up, even though they may be straining, you should offer words of encouragement and say to them with efficacy, I see you doing your very best, and I want to encourage you along the way. What a world it would be. What a community it would be. What a hospital or a church or a household or a family it would be if we spent more time encouraging others when we see them doing the right things, rather than finding ourselves critical when they find themselves struggling with the wrong things. In other words, you're needed. You're needed to be a word and a voice of encouragement for those who are struggling, trying to push their way. I often try to get back in the gym now. You know, all of us have our New Year's resolutions, and I've been trying to work at how I take care of myself. And so sometimes when you go to the gym, you see people in the weight room trying to do what they can, and they're lifting weights. But when they're lifting free weights, it's not wise to do it alone. It's always good to ask someone to spot you. Now, the spotter doesn't carry the weight for you. The spotter doesn't lift the weight for you, but the spotter is there to recognize, encourage you as you lift the weight on your own. And just in case something slips or you need a little help, to add a little support for you while you're going through. So we need you. We need each other to be spotters. When you are needed, stand in there and give words of encouragement. Well, I know there are plenty of people who will talk about how things should be, or how you should do it better, or to be critical. All those things might be helpful with some constructive criticism. However, there are moments along this journey that we know where we failed. We know where we struggled. We know when we've fallen down, and others know it too. And it's good to be able to have someone that's needed to give us that extra layer of support. So I want to encourage you this year, as you go through the course of your week, the course of your day, and the course of the year, I want you to know that you're needed. You're needed because your voice may make the difference in another's life. And if you don't have to do it big, just do it today. See someone trying their very best and encourage them along the way. That's the message for today. That's the first one of this installment. I want to remind you to be encouraged. You are loved, you are appreciated, and you are irreplaceable. Have a blessed day, blessed week, and yes, a blessed and happy new year. Have a great one. Bye-bye.